Hello, I'm Bob Rose. Welcome to this How to the Piano tutorial. This is Zoe Rahman's Go With The Flow. It's an alternative ABRSM List C piece. Jazz, absolutely love this. Not a very popular choice. Again, I think like I was saying similarly in my last video, I think there might be a couple of reasons for that. One is you have to buy this book, Nicky Isles and Friends Book 2 Intermediate to Advanced. Which everyone might not want to go buy the book, but the book is excellent. And actually, just a few days ago, I did put a review up on my podcast. There's going to be a link below. The podcast is How to the Piano, so the link's going to be in the description, where I say that this book is just absolutely outstanding. Go buy it. But also the review does actually have audio clips of 14, hang on, how many pieces are on here? Off the top of my head, I think it's 14 pieces that are in here. And off the top of my head, I think there's 13 clips from 13 of the pieces. So you can actually have a listen to them all and get a very, very detailed, it's like an hour-long review. You can have a very detailed review of this book before you go and part with your cash for it. But it's an excellent book. And I particularly like this piece. I particularly like that this piece has been included in ABRSM because it feels like proper, authentic jazz, like from the living, breathing tradition at the moment, rather than just a load of jazz cliches, which is what ABRSM tend to go for. Now, the other reason why I think it might not be wildly popular as a choice is that the ABRSM official recording is terrible. Again, like the last tutorial video I just did. Really, Zoe Rahman. She's an interesting pianist, and I have seen her. I've seen a gig of hers, and she's a brilliant pianist. And she's this very slender, very feminine lady. And when she plays, it's very masculine. It's a very full, rich sound. She uses a lot of arm weights. It's really sort of it's not dainty and feminine music. It's really full-bodied. And the way that the pianist, I think, plays it, same as Nicky Isles on the CD that comes with this book, they play it in a really gentle, kind of pathetic kind of way, like. And I think when I was listening very similarly to my critique of the last tutorial I did, when I listened to the ABRSM pianist play this, he's like, or she, the pianist is like, shoot me now. They're like, oh my God, am I done yet? You know. It's really like, oh God, this pianist is clearly not enjoying themselves, you know. So I think that this piece requires a lot of arm weight. It requires a lot of full body. Even when it says MF, it's not quiet. It's like. And in fact, in the back of the book, I take it that the composers write all their notes. And in what does she say? So enjoy digging into the piano to get a full and confident sound when you play this. Sing out the melody, keep a strong driving pulse, and swing hard, which is what the ABRSM person and Nicky Isles just did not do when they recorded this. So, let's just go into it from the beginning. You've got tenutos. Now, in this particular book, I get the feeling that Nicky Isles did most of the editing, or someone did the editing, and it's not always clear what they mean by the difference between tenutos and accents. Here in this piece, I think maybe it's a little bit clearer. We've got, so when she says dig in at the back, we dig in really with the tenutos. So, and I think what this tenuto means, so you've got tenuto on this note. And by the way, I do recommend, as always, have the book open so that you can actually see the bars that I'm referring to. So first bar, tenuto on this note. What it means to me is just slightly delay it. Don't be like, don't do that. Do the opposite. I'm going to really exaggerate it. Don't do it this much, but I'm going to exaggerate it so you can see what I'm doing. Now, obviously don't do it that much, but that's the direction I'm pulling it in, so that you go. And by just delaying it very subtly, so that most people might not even notice, you just lean into it. And it's what's called an agogic accent. So I don't think I'm even playing it any louder, but in fact, let me make it quieter. Now, you don't want it quieter, but I'm showing you that by just delaying it, you do emphasize it. So if I now make it a little, very subtly louder. But again, you don't want to do this in a way that's contrived, because like she says at the back of the book, it's got a swing. And for a jazz musician, swing is a very particular feeling, and you can't make it happen. You have to feel it. And so, it's one of those things. In jazz, it swings or it doesn't swing. How do you make it swing? You have to feel it. You have to listen to a lot of jazz. But basically, have a listen to my performance and see if you can, how does it feel to move your body to it? And so basically, every single piece that I learn, whatever style of music it is, I think to myself, if it was a person, what kind of mood is this person in? What's their character? It's like if I met this person, what do I feel about them? Now with this particular piece, it's also how do they move? Who are they? Are they male or female? What's their story? And when I hear this, I imagine something like very urban America jazz, let's say set in the 80s, some kind of, maybe let's say a cop movie, like some sort of cool cops and, and there's like a world weariness. And so the protagonist, who's this kind of, cynical, quite masculine, the police guy, in the cool inner city. And there is a coolness. He's definitely cool. He's like, the shoulders are like, and so there's a confidence, there's a coolness. And when it says here relaxed, it's like, it was difficult to know exactly what relaxed means, but I think relaxed just means he's cool. It's not like, oh, everything's okay. It's not like there's no tension. There's tension, but he's cool. I think that's what it means. By relaxed, I think it means cool. And then here, swing feel. And I feel it's like he's sort of going, da 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 da, and it's like, oh, something's interested him. And again, these things, there's like an inner city call to them. For some reason, I'm thinking Chicago. I've got no idea why. But like, a cop movie set in Chicago. I don't know. And then it sort of like settles down, and then it's like something else grabs his attention. And then it's like he settles back into his coolness. And then... So it's like it keeps settling down, and then something else grabs his attention. And this really is like, the kind of drama you'd feel in a cop TV series. Back to a cool strut. But there is an edge. There's like a masculine edge to all of this. So hopefully you see what I mean. And it's quite hard. It is actually, the notes are easy, and I do think that in many ways this is one of the easiest grade 8 pieces that you can do in terms of the notes. And to get a good mark will probably be pretty easy with this piece. But if you really want to nail the jazz feeling of this, it's tricky to get that nuance, especially because it keeps stopping and starting. And you hear this like a million times. It goes round and around and around, and you have to figure out a way to make it sound fresh every single time you hear it, which is a real challenge because it comes so many times, especially because there's this repeat and you go back to the beginning. It's so many times. So do bear in mind, every single time you hear it, you want to be looking for something new every single time. So I think the way that an awful lot of my students learn pieces is once they sort of can play the notes, they play it identically every single time. They go, I can play the notes, that's it. But really, every time that you practice this, every single moment that you're playing it, you need to be going, what can I do differently every single time? And not just for the sake of doing it differently, but it's more like, let's say it's a person and you're just digging deeper and going, let me find out more about you. Let me discover more about you, you know. Anyhow, so over the page, make sure you do come right down, which is quite challenging. After you've done this, to come right down to, especially over the page, it's quite tricky. By the way, in bar 15, I recommend, when you do this spread chord, I recommend taking the top G with the left-hand index finger, because to get that note in the little finger in the right hand is really hard, and I want to really go for it on that note. But you've got to be careful not to miss-hit it, because I do think you want to crescendo up through that. So we've got, and if it's just the right hand getting that top note, it's really hard to really, you know, I really want that top note to come out because it's part of the da-da-bam, and it's really hard to, because this is very dissonant. Make sure you use your elbow to help you get that E flat at the bottom. By the way, my piano is in urgent need of repair at the moment. Half the keys are sticking. So this E flat I've got a particular problem with, which makes the certain things in this quite tricky. Anyway, so when I'm here, I'm playing the B natural, then I play the B flat, and then I swing my elbow around to help me to get that E flat at the bottom, and then I play that with my little finger, and then I slide down with my little finger for the D. So we've got something like that. I'll do it slowly. So, and you really need your elbow to help you with that motion. Now don't count those. Don't count like rhythmically. It's not 1 and 2 and. Think of the E, F, G. I'm in bar 18 at the moment. Think of them as really fast grace notes. So we've got now fast grace notes, and also you want to crescendo into it. It's very cool, that. Something else I'm just going in all the wrong order here. When you're in I'm at the beginning. I'm at bar 6 at the moment. Right, so I'm going from bar 5, and then we go ba da da ba. So the tune is da 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 ba. This is secondary. Think of this like a big band, and this is the tune. Say the saxophones are going ba ba da ba, and then the rest of the orchestra is going ba ba. And then I think that the tune, because no one plays it this way, Nicky Isles doesn't play it this way, the person who plays it for ABRSM doesn't play it this way. I hear this. Say I'm going from bar 5. For me, the melody is da 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 da. That's what I feel that the melody does. It's not ba da da da, and then that's it. It's da 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 dum dum dum. So you want to bring out, it's really tricky. There's a whole load of conflicting information. So you've got mezzo forte, this is reasonably loud. Da, 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 dum, da, da, dum, da. Then mezzo piano is the accompaniment, ba, ba, which then gets quieter, but the melody is still MF to me, ba, bam, dum, bam, but everything else has gone quieter, ba, bam. So it sounds something like. And can you hear that I bring out dum, dum? So, which sounds to me better than just going da, 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 da. You know, that just makes no sense to me. It is da, 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 dum, da, da, you know, whatever the rhythm is. Yeah, and then, you know, make sure you absolutely do all these dynamics. Don't just sort of have it all relatively flat. What else have we got? Don't overdo, in bar 14, don't overdo the tenuto, which is the last note in the left hand. I almost think they're different ways of moving. So if I go from the end of the previous, let's just go from bar 11. So it's more like this is up, down, and I'm not even sure that they need to be different volumes, but it can look good, like even something like that. I don't think they sound any different, but from the way I look as I play, it has a dramatic tension to it. Let me do that one more time. Do you see what I mean? Okay, that one was a bit louder, but it's more up, down is what I think it does, and then and then I think on the next page, on page 45, I naturally come down in volume a little bit compared to the previous page. Now, the end of that page, bar 29, I think that it's ambiguous, the way that these tremolandos are written. Normally, I think with piano, when you see tremolando, it's something like this. It's where you do this with your hands. And so you want to be fairly relaxed for that. But I don't like the sound that gets, because I want to hear the tops. I want to hear... And tremolandos are really hard to bring out the tops. So as you will see from my Synthesia performance, and I'll put a link to the performance below and above, I prefer to go left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. Left hand, right hand. And really focus on the top, so that it's not just a big mess when you're just doing this with both hands. I prefer it sounding that way. So, back to... And I think the more times you hear this, the more you can just delay, ba, 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 you know, that one with the tenuto. The more times you hear it, you can pull it a bit more, because it's cool. And I think that... it just gives it a coolness. So you want a crescendo and an accent halfway through the bar. What is it? And then here, if you can, to me, MP after F is like you can barely hear it at first. And then no one brings out that accent. No one brings out the accent in the right hand in bar 35. Bring it out. So in the tenuto in bar 34 is more like, it's not so much loud, it's just that you're going down, you're digging in. So we've got down and then down. And then, you know, when there's an accent, bring it out. I go to FF for this. I think F, you know, my particular preference is fortissimo, I think. Now, it doesn't say this, it actually says, hold that for the full amount before you then go down here. I personally, you don't have to do this, I personally like, which makes that so much stronger. I really like that. So the way it's written is, but I prefer, so the G almost at the end of bar 40, I just make it a quaver and I cut it short. So, which I really like that, much more muscular, I think. And then here, I crescendo before it says to crescendo. I start crescendoing at the beginning of the bar. I've been playing the wrong note. Oh my God, I've just realized I've been playing a B flat. Oops. Okay, don't do what I did and play a B flat. I've only just noticed. Oh, I can't believe I put a wrong note in my performance. Oh, it's a D flat. So it's just upper semitone. Oops. Hope you forgive me for that one. So it's, that makes much more sense. Oh, okay, sorry about that. And then make sure you come down in volume for the next bit, because the ABRSM recording just has it all, which it's not very nice. You know, bring it right down. So let me play this bit now with the right note. Can't believe I played the wrong note. And then. Whatever that is. So you know, bring it right down and then bah. Now, you could print out an extra sort of these extra pages. I found that actually when I'm waiting for this chord, I can go back and just memorize bar 49, because it's not going to be that hard just to memorize that bar. Yeah, so I go back. And then similarly, I memorize bars 28 and 29. So when I go down for this note, I turn the page and then memorize all that. So then I can just turn the pages super easily. So much repetition in this thing. And you know, the ending, you've got to pace yourself, because it's got to get louder and louder and louder. And here, I do like just whacking that bottom G flat. Wrong way round. So okay, we can crescendo up through bar 56. So you've got to have a fingering that lets you play that loudly. I actually use 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 5 for the next one. 1, 2, 5 lets me get that chord much louder. And through all of this, you're still crescendoing. You're crescendoing all the way through the last line. So you need to make sure that you've left yourself space to keep crescendoing. And you slow down like a big giant train, just slowly, you know, being brought to a halt very slowly. So I'm going from bar 57. Even louder. And so, you know, getting louder and louder and louder. Now these arpeggios at the end, there's so many ways you could do this. There's so many ways. It could, you know, slow could just be, they are slow. Or, you know, it could be, where is everything? Or, I mean, it could be really slow, like. So, you know, it's really completely up to you, whatever makes sense to you. You know, that was the speed that made sense to me. Now, by the way, these notes must be even. And so I really, really recommend using your elbow to help you. Hopefully you can see how my elbow is moving. What are these notes? So as I play this, the right hand doesn't need it quite so much, but the left hand really needs it, because if you don't do that, it's really hard just with your fingers under pressure, pianissimo, to really make them rhythmically even. But when your elbow helps you, you can make the rhythm really, really... I suppose it's not so hard when it's slow, but if you're doing it a little quicker, it's almost impossible to make it sound that smooth unless you really use your elbow to help you. So I think I've probably gone through most of the important stuff, and I really hope that more people learn this and put it up on YouTube and stuff, because I think it's an absolutely superb piece. It's really very achievable. It's sort of one of the easiest grade 8 piece just in terms of learning the notes and rhythms. It's really not that difficult, but it's difficult to play it with the nuance that I think this cool urban character needs. That's kind of more challenging. But you don't need to nail that at grade 8 level. I think maybe I'm setting the bar a little bit high, you know, with like that exact kind of jazz feeling that you want for this. You know, in terms of getting a decent mark, this is easy, you know, go for it. So anyway, yes, if you enjoyed that tutorial, do please do a like, leave some comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and then you can be notified when I put up new videos. Let me know if there's anything more that you'd like to see. Let me know how you get on with this piece. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and I'll see you guys for the next video. And thanks for watching all this way. See you for the next one. Bye.